We are at the Kelowna Memorial Park Cemetery and about to go on a very unique tour. A tour that will bring you closer to the personalities that helped to build early Kelowna.
Weddles were involved in the early law. And Brian Weddle, who passed away about more than 10 years ago, he was a local judge and lawyer. He followed the Weddle family tradition of being involved in the legal profession.
Why did you start giving cemetery tours?
I guess it just seemed a natural thing to do. I've always spent time up here at the cemetery and gathering information for Historical Society articles or just my own research. And one year I was up here working for the cemetery cleaning grave markers, and I just started doing a few tours. Some of them say Kettle Valley worker. We just wanted to be able to identify where the person lived or what they did. In this case, Mary Louisa Clower, who was actually a friend of my grandmother who grew up in Ellison. We just put Ellison Pioneer. Probably now, if we were going to do it, we'd probably put Ellison Orchardist.
When you're preparing for a tour like this, where do you do some of your research?
Obviously, Kelowna Public Archives. I talked to Tara there. I have my own reference books. I go online. I talk to old timers. It says, only son of Clement and Amy Ritchie, born at Stroud, England, 1884, accidentally, spelled correctly this time, killed near Kelowna, June 1907. Right away when I thought there, a couple of things. First, this guy's not going to be listed in the burial records. 1907, first burial listed is 1911. Accidentally killed and he's young. I thought something's going on there. I get a lot of the ideas obviously from grave markers. I'm walking by and it'll be an interesting inscription on the grave. So I'll think, okay, I'll do some checking, go into BC Vital Stats, go to the library, check for an obituary. It's all sorts of sources, no shortage of sources. Was clearing stumps from his property with blasting caps, and he was carrying the blasting caps in a tin bucket. The tin bucket banged against him, the blasting caps went off, they detonated. He was mortally wounded. They sent for the doctor, I think it was Dr. Boyce or Knox, one or the other, who promptly said, son, you're going to die.
This cemetery is full of stories of some of the personalities of Kelowna. What's one of your favorite stories to tell?
I think probably one of my favorite is about the Reverend Charles Llewellyn Foote. He's buried. He died here in 1901. He was a pioneer Presbyterian minister, and he died. He had an epileptic fit and actually drowned in a mud puddle. Fell face forward. And to me that is just almost a bizarre story.
Can you talk a little bit about the Kelowna Centennial Project to mark some of the unmarked graves?
We had a project with Sharon Simpson, Marie Ablett, my late father Jim Hayes, myself, and we went around and identified about 140 graves in the cemetery that were not marked. And we actually went around the community and received donations.
And why do you think it's important to move forward with that project?
Everybody deserves to have their story told, whether they were a millionaire or whether they were, as I say, a sawmill worker, or whether it was a baby who only lived a few days. All of these people are part of the community. They're part of our puzzle that makes up our history. Arthur Booth Knox was a rancher from, as it says, Craigie-Tarvis, Scotland. Came here in 1885. He owned a lot of what's now downtown Kelowna. He had a large ranch, thousands of acres, extending out onto Knox Mountain, way out as far as Okanagan Center. This guy was very, 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 very wealthy in land.
As you can see, the cemetery tours at the Kelowna Memorial Park Cemetery are full of information and lots of fun. For more information and upcoming dates, visit kelownamuseums.ca. Reporting today from the traditional, unceded territory of the Okanagan First Nations, I'm Jen Garner.